Story 1. Kingdom Traded for Peace. Once upon a time, in a flourishing kingdom, there lived a king named Arvin. Under his rule, the people prospered, and the land was abundant in resources. There was never a shortage of food or wealth, and the citizens lived in peace. Arvin took pride in his reign, as he ensured that his subjects were content and well cared for. However, one year, an unexpected calamity struck the kingdom. A severe drought hit the land, causing the crops to wither and die. The farmers, unable to harvest, could not pay their taxes, leading to a significant decrease in the kingdom's revenue. This situation left King Arvin deeply worried. Day and night, his mind was filled with thoughts of how to provide for his people and manage the kingdom's expenses with an empty treasury. As the drought persisted, his worries only grew heavier. Even when the famine finally ended and life began to return to normal, the king couldn't shake off his concerns. He constantly feared the return of such a disaster, which left him restless and anxious. Additionally, thoughts of potential threats from neighboring lands and possible conspiracies among his ministers plagued his mind, robbing him of peace and sleep. One day, a wise monk visited the royal court. King Arvin, desperate for a solution, confided in the monk about his troubles. The monk listened patiently and then offered a surprising suggestion. He said, "The root of your worries is your kingdom. You can live without burdens by bestowing the kingdom upon your son." Arvin hesitated, pointing out that his son was just a child of 5. In response, the monk proposed another option. "Then grant the kingdom to me. I will bear your burdens and worries." Relieved at the prospect of freedom from his stress, Arvin agreed and entrusted his kingdom to the monk. With the kingdom now in the monk's hands, the monk asked King Arvin how he planned to earn a living. The king, feeling liberated, thought he might start a business. The monk quickly reminded him that the treasury was no longer his to use. Arvin then considered finding a job, to which the monk suggested, "Why not work here? Manage the kingdom on my behalf while I reside in my hut." The king agreed, accepting this new role with a lighter heart. He continued to perform the same duties, but now as an employee rather than a ruler. This new perspective eased his mind. A few days later, the monk returned to visit Arvin and inquired whether he was eating well and sleeping peacefully. Arvin responded with surprise, "I am eating heartily and sleeping soundly. I do the same work as before, yet now I feel no burden. How can this be?" The monk smiled and explained, "You no longer see your work as a burden, but as a duty. By shifting your perspective, you freed yourself from worry." This profound insight transformed Arvin's approach to his responsibilities, teaching him that viewing work as a duty rather than a burden can lead to a life free of unnecessary worry.